Greetings, Drum Corps fans. How are we all doing out there? And thank you for checking in on me for this DCI 2025 finals week recap. And right at the start, I do apologize. It's been a little time for this to come up and to be posted, but we had quite a bit to handle when we got back from finals this year. So, yeah, I do apologize. So, welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium here behind me, which is just obviously a virtual background. But anyway, so yeah, basically, we're going to just go through um, overall thoughts. There's going to be little pieces of other information within the overall, basically recap of finals. So yeah, just get yourself cozy and enjoy. Hopefully that background music isn't too bad, but we got to break up the silence with something, right? So anyway, so here we go. We're going to just go right into it. So overall, the experience was awesome. Just a great few days. Again, I was there. I got in there on to Indianapolis on Wednesday morning, and then was all the way there through. Actually, I left to come back Monday morning, added a day to the trip. I had a lifelong friend of mine who never attended DCI championships before joined me on Friday, and boy, what a treat that was. And we may have an interview with him later on just to get his first timer sort of thoughts and insights as to what he saw and heard. So before we get too far along, as you can see here, boom. So congratulations, Boston Crusaders, on your first ever DCI championship title. Well done, well deserved. Very exciting show, and just it couldn't have been better for you. And it was a thrill. And we're going to go into some of the thoughts I have about it overall too. So let's go way back and rewind to some cores that I just made some notes on. If I don't mention your core, it's nothing personal at all. It's just like I can't recap every little thing, but we're just some things that stuck out and just made some notes here once I came back from DCI Finals week. That I just kind of made some notes and things. First thing is let me before we get to the open and world class, like combined and international class combined shows Thursday through Saturday night. Let me go rewind back to the open class finals and the champion, the Spartans. So huge congrats to you on another win, another championship crown for you Spartans. So bravo to you. They've been around a long time and really have always had an excellent core. Go look up their resume there or their basically history, and you'll see they've won a open class or Division II class title many times. Just bravo to you, and I wish you all the best as you springboard yourself very confidently, it looks like, into the world class arena starting in 2026 full time, because I know they were doing sort of a split between the two this year, but they're going to go full out world class in 2026. So that should be very exciting for them. So Les Stentors up in Canada way. Let me just throw a shout out to you guys because, boy, I want to tell you what, that's probably the best Les Stentors core I have seen ever. And usually I only see it on live streams or at DCI Finals Thursday show, right? And so I saw you this during the Thursday show, and you guys had at least like 23 horns or something, and bigger overall, and just a better overall core. Because back in the earlier days, you guys had between like 8 and 10 horns, and certainly have a far more than that than you used to. So bravo to you guys. Keep that going up there. Hopefully you can build on this core, because really you're doing some really cool, fun stuff. And now you have some extra numbers to kind of support that along the way. Because as we know, it just makes you feel more confident, right? When you have a bigger group, bigger core around you, without a doubt, I would say. So, as I said, bravo to you. Raiders, I got to shout out to my home state of New Jersey core down at Princeton, which is actually pretty far from me, about a 2-hour ride. But yeah, they looked very good and strong this year as well. Again, a core that was kind of numbers were kind of dwindling a little bit in recent years, and it's great to see them come out with a pretty strong number of members and a strong overall core. So bravo to you Raiders for that. And again, random shout out there. Now, let's go into some of these other shows. We're going to go into the Columbians up in Washington Stateway. And you know what? I really enjoyed your show. Even from the night one kind of reveal up there with the Santa Clara Vanguard. If you remember, they both were performing on the same night in front of parents and fans and everybody else. And I was a fan right from the minute one. So bravo to you guys. It looks like you have a little bit lower numbers as far as membership goes. So I hope you can kind of maybe expand that a little bit. But, you know, honestly, what you have is fine, you know. But I know you had a bigger core the last few years. So hopefully, you know, that's just a temporary thing. And, you know, you can build on this year's core and just add some more people along the way. Just going to lower that a little bit, guys. So, yeah, let's go to the Seattle Cascades, another core up that way, and also a core that had some good numbers, and I really enjoyed the show. The name of the show was Primary, basically based on primary colors, which I'm usually not a big fan of primary colors. I'm more into like muted colors, but just a beautiful soundscape right from the minute they take the field. And they did a good job. And they also looked like they had a few more members than they typically do. Excuse me, guys. I need a little beverage, but just water, you know, good old water. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so good job there, Seattle Cascades. Hopefully, again, you can build on that. Basically, I'm going to go up to Gold, which I mentioned them, and I did a react video to their show in San Antonio. They first caught my eye in San Antonio this season, and I really enjoyed the show. A lot of variety. There's variety. Again, I'm a music first guy, so just as a reminder. So there was a lot of nice varying tempos and intensities in that show. Very enjoyable. As I said, I liked it from minute one. So stay tuned on something about them, because one of my special awards I kind of give out every year is going to go to a member in the in Gold. So hang on to hear more about that at the end here. So Crossman, core I've always liked. I like the show. I like the concept of the show. I like the sound. I like the jazzy feel. I really hope, I know it wasn't the most competitively successful season for you guys, but I really hope you do stay along that jazz realm, because I think that always suits you really well. And you always showcase it well. It always comes off really well. And the crosswalking show was an excellent, basic, good, easy to grasp concept. And really, I enjoyed it, and I got to see it a couple of times, and it was awesome. So I always like seeing Bones out there too. So it was always fun to see them. And it was fun being in San Antonio, in your home city, to see you guys. As always, it's fun to see a core perform in front of their hometown crowd. Next is this. Well, again, we mentioned the Spartans. Again, congrats on your open class win, and a good show, a fun show, without a doubt. So bravo to you. I look forward to see what you do next year. The Academy, another fun show. London Fog, another very basic, kind of idea to grab onto, but you can also make quite a bit of it if you wanted to. Let me see what else I wrote. Also, in Allentown, I went all the way down to the end of the park to go follow the Academy horn line and watch them warm up. Myself and maybe about a dozen others were there watching their horn line warm up. And special thanks to the Academy brass staff for letting us come into your circle, your brass circle, for your last couple of warm-ups. Anyone who was there, spectator, was invited to come in the circle and hear some awesome brass from the Academy. I really enjoy that organization. I think they're just first class the way they do things. They look good. They sound good. They just carry themselves well. They always have. So yeah, again, thank you. Special thank you to the brass staff. It was a true treat to be there. And of course to the members, because of course you're part of the group there too. So thank you for letting us come in there and kind of be disruptors in a way. But in a good way, I guess, right? So Music City, cool show overall. I did like this show, but I gotta be honest, a lot of the reason for that is I'm a big fan of watches and clocks and time overall. If I could just kind of, transport you downstairs, you would see I have 7 clocks on the wall that represent 7 cities around the world, different time zones, anything from Hawaii to Beijing, China. So I'm a fan, and especially if your clock or watch has Roman numerals, which their prop of a clock on the field did. They had Roman numerals, which I think it's very classy, very cool. So a fun show for sure. Very strong core too. So keep at it. Always interested to see what Music City does. They always come up with some interesting shows. Pacific Crest. I had the great fortune of sitting in the lobby in San Antonio the morning of the show at San Antonio, the DCI Southwestern Regional, and got talking to a mom who has a member who marched gold in 2024 and then went out and made Pacific Crest in 2025. So it was their first year being in a world-class corps, the trumpet player, and they were having a good time with it, but they said, boy, it's a challenge. It's a jump in intensity and expectations. So shout out to the mom who I had a great chat with for at least 45 minutes or more. Again, just a long-time drum corps fan, just having fun meeting people and just kind of giving my perspective of all those years and stuff like that. So it was a real treat to cheer them on, along the way. So Madison Scouts, a great musical show. Excellent. Really enjoyed it. Got to see you guys obviously a couple times because we saw you in San Antonio, we saw you in Allentown, and of course the 2 nights in Indianapolis. Great core. I know, again, competitively not maybe where you want to be, but I think you're on the right track, and just stick with it. And it's just timing sometimes. There was so many great cores that cores are just a little better than them, ahead of them. So keep at it, and I know you're going to keep doing great things. So awesome. A favorite of mine this summer for sure is the 13th place corps, Spirit of Atlanta. Yes, very good show, very good core. And boy, you're right on that edge of getting back in the top 12. I can tell you that. And this show should definitely rocket you. Right? Good old pun. Should rocket you into very successful tryouts and interest in the corps with a show like that and a talent like that. So huge congrats on a great show. And again, I know it didn't quite make it in, but it was just hugely a fan favorite for sure, no doubt about it. And we're going to go along with how well I do with my predictions here toward the end. Blue Knights, welcome back to the top 12. Very good core, very talented core. A show that was a little bit different, but not too far off the beaten path to not be easy to follow and enjoy. Again, some jazzy kind of stuff there, 3/4 through. You guys handle that really well. We've done it a few times over the years, playing like a jazzy section. I almost wish you would give a whole show a try sometime, because you really do handle that well. Bravo to the soloists in that show. They are excellent. And the ballad obviously is a very good tune. I mean, just from a great movie and a great scene in the movie used that music. So awesome job using that as part of one of your real main centerpieces of the show, which is the ballad. So bravo to you guys for getting the 12th place finish. Not easy to do, obviously. 11th place was the Colts, and that was a strong core. And, maybe a show a little different for them for sure. But I don't think it was all that out of the realm of following along, right? It was basically dream state. You're in and you're out. They made it very simple for you to follow along with the visuals of the red triangle. So when you saw the red triangle, obviously you were in this dream state or whatever it be. And when you weren't seeing the triangle, then you weren't. So very basic. I'm sure I'm oversimplifying that. So, but they have a strong horn line, a very good drum line. Guard, I'm not a guard guy, really. I know a little bit here and there about it, but solid, I think, across the board. Again, just a situation where cores are just a little bit better than you. Then we go up to 10th place, the Troopers. And yes, this is another favorite of mine. So if we're keeping count, we have Troopers as a favorite, and we have Spirit of Atlanta as a favorite this year, for sure. You guys got me in Allentown when you showcased the new ending with the cello player. Yeah, you had me choking up a bit, mainly because the Allentown crowd, for those who may not know, which most of you probably do, it is definitely the most seasoned drum corps crowd that corps will see overall. Okay, yeah, at finals you'll get a very seasoned crowd as well, but you have a lot of parents, you have a lot of alumni, all that kind of stuff. Allentown, there's people been going to that show for decades, right? And they're very savvy drum corps people. So when they do things like the sunburst, things when they pull back and call back to the trooper, and they show them in their full uniform, it's going to always invoke a reaction, emotional reaction. And boy, was that the case when they showcased the new ending. Was awesome, and it's definitely a fan favorite of mine. It was really, really well done. Bravo on that, troopers. So next was the Cavaliers, and boy, was nice to see them get their stride back a little bit, certainly compared to the previous year or years where they were just a little off. It wasn't that long ago that they did the show The Other Side of the Tracks. People want to act like they were kind of like in some kind of turmoil for the last number of years. It just feels that way, right? Sometimes. But really, they had a great, strong core, horn line, drum line, all across the board. Go back to that Other Side of the Track show. Hugely popular show, by the way. A favorite of mine in the list of cores that year. I don't remember the exact year. I want to say it was, I don't know, was that 2018? Was it 2022? I'm not sure. I kind of forget at this point, but they were excellent then. But now, enough about them. More about the 2025 version of the Cavaliers. Love the overall uniform. As you know, guys, I'm not a big waist, whatever you want to call it, thing for members. They had them. They were black, but they kind of blended in a little bit. But I would have loved to have had a cleaner look of just straight line, straight leg kind of look with their marching, because they do some awesome Cavalier-ish marching in 2025. The half shapes that are kind of used, and shape shift, of course, to being the name of the show. They do some very creative things with those throughout. And again, it was just great to see you guys bouncing back a bit with a much stronger core and a better, probably overall program for sure. So congrats to the Cavies. Good old Green Machine. Next is another fan favorite, the 8th place finishing Blue Stars. And again, let me just set it out here, guys. Their horn line has been strong for a really long time, ever since the dude Travis, I forget his last name, I'm terrible with names, guys, but I think it's Travis Larson, if I'm not mistaken. 2 points to me. He's been there a while, and they have been a strong horn line for a while. Okay, you can go all the way back to the 2016, 2017 strong horn lines. They've kind of amped it up even more. But they have been a strong core and strong horn line for a long time. Go back and enjoy it if you want. I mean, check out the previous course. Great, straightforward, fun show. Just about everybody I talked to loved the show concept and the basically presentation of it. Again, these shows are great on paper, but it really is, I'm going to tell you what, and maybe instructors and creative types are going to hate me for this, but it's in the member's hand to bring it to life, okay? It's their performance quality that brings shows to life, okay? You hear it all the time that members will do something during a practice and say, yeah, you know what? And instructors will say, yeah, add that to it. Or designer will say, yeah, put that, do that, and it's just something they came up with. So again, performance quality is a huge thing when you get into the upper echelons of the cores and the more successful cores, because if you're just going out there, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, it's not going to cut it. You have to have a performance quality to your performance. So Blue Stars, spectacular, great guard as always. Drumline did well, held their own a little bit there, where I know that's a little bit of a challenging department for them, but they did well. And the horn line, of course, off the charts, absolutely off the charts. So again, a favorite of mine this summer. The Mandarins there, and as everybody was saying, on Mandarins Island in 7th place. I was laughing when I made my predictions back in, I guess it was the Wednesday night before DCI Thursday Championship Week. Boy, wouldn't it be funny if we all were predicting the Mandarins in 7th? And I don't know anyone who predicted them higher or lower, to tell you the truth. I'm sure there were people out there that did that, but most people were throwing them in 7th. Wouldn't it be funny if we were all wrong and they landed somewhere else along the way? But a show that was a little hard for me to grasp. It was fun. It was creative. I definitely like the use of the the tubes or whatever, they were definitely a well utilized prop. Not overbearing, really. Maybe they could have been a little bit easier to move around, because I got to be honest, I saw some of the members dragging them backstage, and they looked to be pretty heavy. So I hope they were able to do that without too many struggles. But yeah, overall a good show, but it's a little more out there for me. I was definitely a bigger fan of the New Orleans-based show, and then of course, who didn't like the Cinnamon show. So they've done some monster shows recently. So this one to me was not quite my full cup of tea, but definitely you cannot deny the talent of that core. Someone to watch out for. They're in that 7th place, but they may not stay there long. They certainly are one to be the next core to kind of move up in the ranks into the higher echelon there. So very good for you, Mandarins. Number 6th place core was the Phantom Regiment, and overall I did like this show. I liked kind of what was mostly, especially the bookends of the show, a lighter, brighter, almost kind of surreal, kind of heavenly kind of feel to music. Very, very pleasant, very nice. Obviously, a horn line is spectacular. The whole core is spectacular, right, from end to end. And I did enjoy the show. I didn't necessarily like the curtain effect, as people said, oh, when they get in the dome, it all makes sense and all that. Well, in the dome, you had the huge amount of air conditioning and air movement down there on field level, so you can see that stuff was still floating around. I mean, again, I don't know what the overall idea was with the curtain, other than you can sort of see through, but not fully, and that's kind of like your light, kind of seeing it, but not really clear, at some points, whatever it is. I'm not sure. Again, it was supposed to be whatever your interpretation is, so whatever that be. But anyway, it was just a pleasant show. Again, a nice little power cleanse in some ways. It was not as intense and dark as some other shows and things. It was very nice. Really enjoyed it musically and visually. It was fun to see. So next up was the 5th place Carolina Crown. Excuse me, tongue twister there. It was probably it's a tie almost for my favorite show of the season. Okay, because call it whatever you want. Maybe call it East Coast drum corps or style, where it's just straightforward. They have full uniforms, intense where it needed to be, insanely delicate during the ballad. I think for sure, in my opinion, the ballad of the year. It's a really long ballad, and I gotta tell you what, it's basically kind of a toss-up usually between Phantom and, in my opinion, Crown, of who does the best ballads, because both of those cores just really just kill it when it comes to ballads, and Crown is awesome with ballads, and this year's ballad was spectacular, just really sensitive, and I think it was incredibly effective. But that's just my opinion. But here's one fun note that was super cool and exciting. In Allentown, I did go to Carolina Crown's rehearsal, and when I arrived, they were working on the new ending. So, maybe call me a bad YouTuber out here, but I didn't post up any videos or information about it, recordings of it. I certainly could have, but they're not in full uniform and not a full effect. So you really couldn't get the full effect of the new ending, but it was so exciting to see them working on it and piecing it all, together and running those run-throughs of the new ending there in Allentown. It was on Allentown Saturday, I believe we were doing that. So spectacular! It was so cool to see. So again, bravo, Crown. I know 5th place is not really where you want to be, but I think you're poised and ready to rock it out, going forward. So kudos to you. Blue Devils in 4th, which is very unusual, as everybody's been saying. It's been 20 years, right? 2005, the Dance Derby show was the last time they finished out of the medals. But last year in 2024, when they finished 3rd, I just kind of saw in my mind, and now, of course, you're going to say, well, you're just making this up, Craig, just because you can. Not really. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I thought that was kind of a chink in the armor of their dominance, right, was this 2024. And then in 2025, just a further kind of, weathering of the armor of being so dominant. So I think that was my opinion of it. I enjoyed the show. I got to be honest, more so than other recent offerings from Blue Devils. The most recent like great show I enjoyed from them was Fellini-esque, right? So yeah, total show that is. Obviously, there's been isolated moments in their shows I've enjoyed, but yeah, I really did enjoy their show this year. I hope they kind of stay on that path, or maybe push it a little more even in a different direction, because it still had Blue Devil-esque moments. Bravo to the spectacular color guard and everybody really, but really that guard was just unbelievable from day one. They were really, did amazing things, right? So, and in the ending, of course, they're a key part of that with a, kind of a coordinated flag line, entire everybody on flag. Really effective, just beautifully done in that big circle. So again, Blue Devils, thank you, and please continue on the path of something different, because I think that's a great thing. I really do. Number 3, third place. Who would have guessed this one back a year or so ago? The Santa Clara Vanguard. Good. Wow. Geez. Moving up from, where was it, about 6th or so place, and then pushing up into 7th, into 3rd, excuse me. Excellent. Truth be told, full disclosure, not my type of show. I'm not into the really esoteric stuff. I don't mind a core or 2, maybe 3 tops, kind of going that route a little bit here and there, sprinkled throughout the top 20 cores, but really not my choice for a show. My favorite part of that show is definitely the beginning. The way they kind of use the horns on side 1 is almost like scattered on the field, almost as a prop itself, since they really don't have any props. So props to you. Here we go again with the puns. Props to you for not doing props again, because I think you don't need them. Right, you just don't need them to be effective. So, excellent job. And again, that beginning really sets the mood for what is a very different show. Again, and super talented core. And boy, who knows where they're going to go. In a rare case, some people were saying maybe they're going to pass either Blue Coats or Boston finals week. It was a possibility that could happen, but obviously that didn't happen. But great show from them overall, as far as the members just killing it with what they were given. So there we are with them. And then number 2, second place was the Blue Coats. Great show. Just a really good show. I enjoyed it. It was kind of, I wouldn't say a Blue Coats sort of greatest hits in a way, because you kind of had a ballad, power ballad, similar to like a 2016 style. And then you had all these little Blue Coat-esque kind of sounds and, kind of styling throughout. I think the second half of the program is my more enjoyable part of the program. If I had one thing I didn't really particularly like from day one, were 2 points. One, having the guard in the core all in white. It looked like a big mob. Now, granted, that might be me because I sit down low. I like to sit about 15th row. Usually. So I don't get to get up high visually to get view of things. But even on the big screen and even at home with Flow and, the high cam views and such that I've seen, I just think they with all the white, they just look a little too cluttered to me. And even the drill and all the boxes and everything just seem very cluttered to me visually. So again, I'm more of a music guy, so it only has so much impact on me enjoying a show, but it was distracting to me as a viewer. I could tell you that for sure. So, but awesome show, great core. They're always going to be a great core. They are sort of the hippest core out there, always doing different things, and who knows what the heck they're going to do next year, right? That's always the exciting thing with Blue Coats, is you have no idea what they're going to come up with the next year. So, there you go. And then, of course, boom, back to the Boston Crusaders. Again, huge congrats on your first title. Well deserved, well earned. And not only that, their encore performance was the best one I've seen, maybe ever. It had that extra bit of intensity and kind of like excitement from the members in it, but yet it stayed very technical and it was very clean overall. So bravo to you on doing that on a really highly charged crowd. Big crowd there to see the encore. So yeah, this show just has a little bit of everything in it. I don't know how you could watch and listen to it and not be entertained. There's stuff going on everywhere. You can be looking probably even to this day for many, many, many viewings and still see something new in there. I just thought it was spectacular. Again, more of an East Coast style, just straight at you. Yeah, there's gimmicks, of course, but just like the overall vibe of a lot of marching and movement and just straight up, hard drumming. So again, just from the most basic volunteer, maybe they volunteer one day for the Corps or every day, and to the members, to the staff, to the everybody. Huge congrats to you, Team Boston, for pulling in your first win, first title as a DCI finalist. So bravo to that. Now, overall, here we go. We're going to get through this a little over 30 minutes, which I don't want to go too far, but here we are with some random awards and observations. Okay, so the first one's something I've been doing a long time. I've kind of posted it out on the interwebs. This is the first year I'm doing this podcast thing, so I'm going to put it out here. So I have a couple of showmanship awards, and these go to individuals that stuck out to me that I wanted to just recognize here. Maybe you guys can go back and check it out and see for yourself. So Best Showmanship Award number 1 is for a spectacular performer. She's a petite black girl, starts on flag in gold. And in the first part of the opener, to find out who this person is, she goes up to the front sideline on side 1, the 40-yard line, and switches off the flag to a rifle. And then later in the show, she switches off rifle on the same 40-yard line, side 1, to a saber. So, yeah, look for that flag switch, though, because it's within the first couple minutes of the show that she goes off flag and goes on to rifle. Just an amazing performer, lots of energy. I mean, a lot of them had it. I think that's why I like gold so much this season. But she really, she's just a treat to watch, just fully in character the whole time. Excellent. Another honorable mentions for Showmanship Award would be the 2 trumpet players, soloists in Pacific Crest. They play a little bit, then they're kind of just hanging out, and then they play a quick game of rock, scissors, paper right there, and then they get back in and they play some more of a solo or duet to finish it out. Very cool, fun idea. Again, that might have been just a random thing that they came up with that they said, yeah, keep that. You know what? That's fun. So bravo to those 2 gentlemen for that. And then we got to put a special shout out to the dude in the color guard of Boston Crusaders right before the final hit and push right on the 50-yard line, right in the front. He does about, 6,000 360s and then catches a rifle with a big scream and roar. And he nailed it every single time. And I don't know how you can do that with all that pressure, but he's a beast. So bravo to you, sir, for your awesome performance. So those are my 3. But certainly the gold is the top winner. The other 2 were just kind of honorable mentions. Parent of the Year. Okay, here we go. This is the guy I got to meet at the Carolina Crown rehearsal I mentioned in Allentown. He was just sitting in the stands, and I'm not going to be annoying usually, but I'll if I try to sense if someone wants to have a little chat. I'm always curious to know who I'm sitting next to, what their experience is. Did they march? Do they have people in the Corps march? Blah, blah, blah. He is a food truck volunteer, and this guy is one of the Parents of the Year. I didn't meet his wife. She was totally in a different part of the country because this family has not 1, not 2, but 3 of their kids are in Drum Corps, DCI Drum Corps. 1 was there in Carolina Crown in the color guard. It was, I think, her 2nd year. They have someone who was in the Colts Drum Corps, and they also had someone in the Colt Cadets. Now, the interesting thing about that is, okay, Carolina Crown, they're in South Carolina. That's where they live. They live in South Carolina, but they have 2 kids who are in the Colts organization. So I thought that was super cool. And he was basically there most of the rehearsal there in the morning for a few hours, and then was just going to leave to go help out, get the food truck ready for the members for Carolina Crown. So bravo to you, sir, and your wife for being huge volunteers and fans of the activity, just doing amazing things. So definitely wanted to shout him out. Best Soloist of the Year. I'm going to say it's a tie. I'm sorry. I know we don't like ties, but I'm going to say between the Blue Coats trombone soloist and the Boston Crusaders French horn soloist. Both spectacular. I mean, there's a ton of great soloists all up and down from every corps. Pretty much you can say there's great soloists, but those 2 stuck out to me this season. And special, certainly not last to mention, but the Marine Drum and Bugle Corps. Always see you guys. I never miss on finals night. It's a super treat to stand there and sit there and watch your amazing performance every year. And you were really, you're always good, but you were really good this year. And a lot of people are in the stands to see you and hear you this time around. So I hope you saw that as well, which is super cool. Now, real quick, we're going to just wrap this up. And if you've stayed on for this long, God, thank you so much for hanging in there. But my predictions. So my predictions, if you go back in my videos archives, you'll see on Wednesday night, Indianapolis finals week, I put out my predictions, and I was completely right with the top 13 predictions, except for one area. I added extra drama in my predictions, which was for 9th, 10th, which was the Troopers and Cavaliers. I made them a tie instead of having one finish ahead of the other. Other than that, I predicted everything else correctly in the top 12, which was probably the most successful predictions I've ever made. So that being said, the recap is over, folks. Thank you for hanging in. Thank you for your support. We have more content of all kinds coming out. Stay tuned for a video that's going to highlight that. And that is all. Okay, folks, let's call it a wrap, and thank you again.